Alright. So today I'm going to be going over the designs portion of Command. And what it is, it's a place where you can go through and create things like flyers, postcards, social media graphics, all of that kind of stuff, which really helps when you have you're promoting a new listing, or you have an open house coming on, or just sold, anything like that. We're going to find that the designs area in Command has a lot of templates, a lot of things that we could log into and use, which is really good. I'm going to shut the door quick. So, to get started, we're going to have to log into Command. Once we're in Command, the page that we're looking for is going to be designs here on the bottom left. So it's going to be the third one from the bottom. It's going to be your designs page. And if you've ever been in the designs page before, designs area, and you've ever worked on any designs before, the nice thing about this screen here is it'll actually show all of your previous designs, which is nice that the tool, whatever you start working on, it automatically saves anything that you work on, that you begin, and you'll have a record of that here on the screen. So you can see I have a couple things that I've worked on before, and you can see what an example of this here. And what's nice about any of these, I can always click on any of these that I've worked on before, reopen them, and basically continue where I left off. Another great thing about this is, next to each of these designs, there's this little button that comes up when you put your mouse over it. These little dots here on the corner, and that lets you make a copy of a design in case you come up with something really cool and you just want to make a copy of that, and then just edit that copy on for later use. You could do that from here, and it's just a quick way to do that. Just go through here and make a copy. You can also go through here and delete any old designs and things that you don't want to keep here on the screen. That option will let you do that there. So to get started, we can go up to the top right corner here to create a design. When we go there, you're going to find a couple of options here on the screen. The email designs will take you to a separate email creator. I won't be focusing on that today, but the email option will take you to something that you can put an email together and potentially send that out to your to your contacts. And then we have social and print. These are the two that we'll be working with today. And then there's a video section that takes you to a separate, like almost a video slideshow that it puts together for a listing. If I have enough time, I'll run through that real quick because it's a neat little tool that they have in here. So we'll basically working on two areas here. Either print or social. They're separated here based off of the different categories. So if we wanted to make a flyer that we're going to print out, I would go to the print section. And also here on this screen is you have an option to import photos and text from a listing. What that allows us to do is to connect the listing right, if we're going to be making this for an open house or just listed, anything like that. This lets us pull in the information and photos actually from that listing right into here. So for this, just to get started here, I'm going to do a print, and then I'm going to import from a listing. So you'll see the screen come up here, and you may have it where it'll, where it'll only show your listings here on the side. And of course, those would be any of your active listings that you have. I don't have anything here. And you can also switch this to show all listings. This is gonna be all listings on, our MLS and basically any other MLS that's out there in, in the country. So this is a pretty huge database that this has here. I can never find any good examples. Does anybody, in here have a listing or anything I could put in here and search for? I could just type in the address too.
Yeah, he's the editor.
Okay. So let's see. Is
Which one?
oh, this one here?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. So, you can just start by typing out the property address in here, and you can look through the list here and locate the right listing that you're looking for. Sometimes if by searching the address doesn't pull it up, you can always change the list here to search by MLS number, where if you have the MLS number, you could put that in instead, and help you locate your listing. Let's see, Skylark. It's gonna be this one, right?
Yeah.
On the side? Yeah, so I see list date for the first one is 2017, so I'm guessing that's not it. So we're gonna select the listing, and as soon as we're off of that screen, it's gonna take us to this page. If I went through and I did a social, did the social option instead, it would, it would do the same thing. It would bring me to the screen as soon as I put in the listing. So then from here, we're on the screen here where we can begin to look for our the template that we're going to use. So let's say that this is going to be for an open house. So I can go under the listing section here on the left, and I'm going to locate the open house category. So it's going to be here. And as soon as I go through that and I click, you just see a number of different templates and things come up here right away. And each of these are going to be for open houses. And you can see a bunch of different things here. And that's because it's currently showing everything that's available. If we're looking for a flyer specifically, I like to select the flyers option here at the top, because that way it only shows just the flyers. Because if I had it set to all, it's showing, it's going to be showing flyers, but also some door hanger options, postcards, and a bunch of the other stuff that's here, which you can use as well, but just know that, it's for those types of, it's for those sizes and those different things for that. Any questions so far? All right, great. So let's say that I'm going to use this one here. So all I do is I click on the use button, and what that's going to do is it's going to open up the template that I picked. So right away, we're going to see a couple things come up here on the screen. If you haven't been in here, you guys, if any of you haven't used this already, you're going to have the template that you chose right in the middle, and then you have a bunch of options over on the left side of the screen, as well as across the top. So first thing that we can start with is, because you may notice that none of the information from the listing has come over yet, or the pictures, so we can start with that. And the way that you find that, it's going to be over on the left here, under the KWLS section. So this button here with the little house, you can click on that, and again, if you had selected the listing just before this, you should see all of the photos and information here on the left. So I can see that different photos here came up, and I can start replacing them now on the template. So let's say that I want to replace the first one here. I find that the best way to do this is if you click on the picture first in the template, and you go over to the photo on the left. And let's say I'm going to use this one on the front of the house. You're going to have this replace image button right in the middle. It's going to look like a little circle with arrows. So if I click on the one on the template first, and then I replace that image, it replaces it directly on top of the one that's already there. And that way it just goes straight into that. If I just click on the picture over on the left, instead of first clicking the one on the flyer, what happens is it just, it puts the photo in, but it puts it up on top of everything. Which then here I have to, resize it, make it bigger or smaller to fit, which you can totally do as well. But, if you want to just kind of, go straight into it, you can just replace the picture for that. And then sometimes you may notice that the picture doesn't fit like all the way, or right when you do the replacement. You can always double click on the picture that gets replaced, and you're going to get a crop window. So this shows me here that the picture is inside the frame that I had put it in, but the outside here, the blue border, shows me that I can move the picture a little bit, and then still have it fit, but I can adjust it so I can make it look a bit better. So I can do that here, and I can also make it larger or smaller, and you can see how it'll look like in the inside where I place the photo. After I've set that up, I can just click on the done button. It might be a little hard to see, but it's up here at the top. You see done and then cancel. I'm gonna hit done, and what that'll do is it'll save the picture right in there. Besides that, I can also do the same with the rest of the pictures. If my template has space for more photos, I can do the same with these other two as well. So once again, I'm just going to click on the image first, and then go over on the left here, and see this is a really nice home here that we have. So I can do a picture of the kitchen, and it almost looks no different than the one that's on the template here. That's really cool. So I can replace the first one, and then let's see here. This home has a nice pool, so I can do a picture of the pool or the backyard or something else that I want to show in the flyer here. So I've replaced them there. Some other things as well. So besides the pictures, you're going to be looking for the property details. So things like the address and so on. Those are actually here as well, under this tab next to photos called the listing details. If you click listing details, you're going to see the information kind of split apart, such as the property type, address, the current price, the listing date, and so on. Everything is going to be here. Only thing is, it's just it's kind of separated out into different sections. So I can do something like this, where I can see my template here has the area for the address right up here at the top. I can click on that, and I can just I'm able to just double click into the text box and just delete everything on my own separately, and just type it in if I have that. Or if I click on the box first and then go over to where the address is here, I have the same replace button here as well. If I do that, just like with the photo, it'll actually replace the address or whatever, any of these areas here directly over, where I had selected. So, that's able to, save some time, and I'm able to just kind of put stuff in like that quickly. So I can see there I've replaced the address. And when it comes to this, if you're wanting to make things a little bit bigger, like the font and everything like that, all your options for that are going to be up here at the top. So here you have like this first option here is for your font. This one next to it is going to be for like the font size. So here I can click on that and make this, make this a little bit bigger if I need to. So this is where all my options are, and of course, like the color, bold and everything like that. All my options are going to be up here at the top. Besides that, this template has, and usually most of these will have an area for like the number of beds, baths, square footage, anything like that is going to be up here at the top too. Or the template, and as well as the some of the other property details or highlights are going to be here on the side. So I can go through and I can update these separately. So let's see here. This one's got, and I'm just going to go through and I'm going to update this manually. Oh, and here's another thing. And this might happen too if you're like, especially if you're working on a laptop and you have this open and it's like really small and like hard to actually work with this. You have some zoom options down here on the bottom right, where you can kind of click this a couple times and actually be able to zoom into this and be able to see it a lot easier instead of being way out. Now that I've done that, I can either do the same thing here, click the box first and just do a replace, or I can just click into this and then just update it separately, because I know it's kind of quick and easy. And of course, anything that you have like this, you can totally move around. You can delete if you don't, if you have things on here that you don't want to keep, anything like that. You have total control over this. So we'll just update the square footage here. 37. 7, just as an example. So besides the information, of course, you have an area here at the top where you can update your actual open house information, and then there will be usually a place where it'll include the current price and all that. But besides that, we also have an area where we can add in our photo as well as our information. So here's where a couple of other things come in. So I know that I have my headshot included in here, and for you guys, if you have your headshot uploaded in the command already, then it'll actually connect over to this page automatically as just one where you can just add it in real quick. If it doesn't, or you need help uploading your headshot in the command or just getting it on here, go ahead and let me know and I can help you guys out with that separately.
Quick question on
Yeah.
the headshot. Depending on the background, sometimes you need to change the color of the background of your headshot. Are we able to do that in command? Like make it adjust to the color of the background of whatever template we use?
So not the headshot itself, not the picture, but definitely anything that's behind it. So like this is just a red box that's behind this here. I can click on the box, and then up here at the top is where the option to change the color would be. So if I needed to change this to something else, I can go ahead and do that from here and do that. That way it, it won't update your picture, the actual picture, but just behind it, it might make it easier to see. Yeah, especially if your picture's in here without a background, we do see that a lot. That may help. So, all right. So I'm gonna replace my picture here. I just click on the Images tab here on the left, and automatically, I have a couple of options here, and you should, probably see the same on your end too. So, similar to how I replaced the listing picture, I just click on the one that's here, and I can go over to where my picture is, and then just do a replace, and just like before, it'll just put it directly on top.
I found this on the web.
That's weird. Thanks, Siri. This thing's going off all the time, when you least expect it. Yeah.
Just a quick question. Are you like on listing, creating a listing presentation, or is this creating a listing presentation?
So there are, listing presentations in here as well, but I just clicked on one of the open house flyers.
Open house, okay.
Yeah, to get into here. But all of these different steps apply to any of the templates that are on here in this tool. So I have my picture replaced here, and as you can see, there's also another area below where you can, put in your agent details. So I know I can click on any of these and then just do a quick replacement of anything that's on here, and usually there'll be a space for phone number, email address, website, anything like that you want to add in, you can. And and usually your DRE number is not included on here, so you can always do something like this, where you add a line, and then just be able to type it out, whatever it may be, and then be able to do that. And if you need to, in this case, like make this a little bit bigger so that it fits, you can always click on one of the little arrows here over on the on either side of the text box, and be able to move it around and make it bigger if you need to. And here's a tip as well: if it's a little difficult for you to move any of these boxes around with your mouse, which does happen sometimes, you can always just click on the box or the picture or anything that's on here, and be able to move it around with the arrow keys on your keyboard. Sometimes if you just need to move something just that little bit, you can use this for that. So a quick little tip. So besides that information there, one other thing that you'll see on a lot of these templates is this Keller Williams DBA logo, or DBA name. And what that is just like a generic Keller Williams logo that's on here. We, could replace it with our own, or just remove it if we have to. For a lot of you that are newer with KW and with Command, you may find that there's already a logo included in here already, which is really nice. And it's similar to any of these other pictures. You can just click on where the logo is, and then you might see the option come up here on the side. In my account here, in my case, I have a bunch of different options uploaded into this. And then similar to you guys, there is a way where you can, upload a picture into this and save it, and then be able to basically pull it up at any time. It works similar to the headshot that comes through here, kind of the same idea. And for you guys, you might just have the Keller Williams Antelope Valley logo. believe it's gonna be this one here, the one that you guys might already have included with your account. So if that's the case, and I want to use that one, I can just be able to replace it just like any of the other things. So same process for that.
Mike,
Yeah.
I'm having an issue. That's when I'm trying to do that. When I'm trying to replace that logo, it looks like it's not letting me replace it because it's text versus like image. Because I uploaded the Antelope Valley logo into the images, but I'm trying to replace the images with that, but it's not replacing it. Is that not should be doing it or?
It just doesn't replace it at all.
Correct. Yeah. When I hit the little replace button, it's not changing it.
How about if you just click on the logo here on the side? Does it put it in at all into the document?
Let me see.
Because that's another option too, is you can just click on it and
Oh yeah, I can do it that way, and just kind of just play around with it and add it. I guess I can do it that way. It's just not replacing it like the photos, but yeah, it added it if you just click it.
oh, okay, that's good.
Yeah, so I guess I can just, if that works, I'll just move it and slide it up.
Yeah, because you always do have that option.
Okay. That works.
At any time. So here I've replaced the logo that I want to use, and let's say that this is all done, and I'm ready for to basically be able to print this out. So to do that, you can go up to the download button here at the top of the page, top right corner. You want to click on download, and then be able to just download it here. So automatically this will save it as a PDF, which is going to be the best file for printing. And all I do is I click on download. By the way, any work, any changes that you're doing on here, the system is automatically backing it up or auto saving it, which is really nice. If you notice that that went by kind of quick here. If you notice that nothing happens when you click on download, that's usually because it's like preparing it for downloading, and you might see this little downloading. It's gone now, but it'll show right here where it says it's working on it. And then as soon as it's done that, then it'll download your file, and it'll look just like this. And from here, then I have the option to be able to print, to my printer, and that way you have the option to be able to do that. You'll see something else here as well. This button called Order Print. This is if you want to have this professionally printed through this company or this service. Of course, that's additional cost and and so on. But that's what this button does, is to be able to have this company be able to print this for you and basically ship it to you. So that's what you see there. I'll also recommend that here over on this side of the screen, this is the file name or the document name. By default, it's gonna have a random name or it's anything like that. I always recommend going through there and renaming it so that you know what file is which. So I can name this after the template name, or not the template, but the property address, just so that I know that this is what this file is. So call it open house flyer. So that way I know which is which. And then that pretty much does it for setting up a flyer, and then be able to go through the process, replacing the pictures, and then being able to print out. Any questions on any of this so far?
Yeah, is there any, you see how they have that little, the little circle that has text in it that says listed at, It's
Oh,
all
yes.
part of the template. Is there anywhere to add like those fun things, like for instance, add a text box to make it circle or whatnot, or is it only going to be square text boxes that you can add in?
So the text boxes themselves are, yeah, squares, but the shapes behind them, yeah, you can always put in different shapes. And the way you see those is if you don't have anything clicked on the document, you have the option up here for a couple things. You can actually, do a drawing on top of this. Then you have shapes, different frames, and then be able to put in a text box from here as well.
Oh,
If
perfect.
I go through shapes, then I see there's a couple different things here. Like I can do this one. It'll put it right on top of the document. And then once I have it on here, then I have the option to change the color for it here at the top if I needed to change that. But yeah, you can totally get different text shapes or shapes and be able to put them on here and put other things on top of that and be able to use them for different things like that.
Perfect. Thank you.
Mhm. Let's see, so we have all that. Okay, so now I'm going to leave this page here. And if you're currently in here looking at one of these or working on one of these documents, you can always hit this home button here at the top left, not the KW button, but the one that says home. It may ask you if you want to save your changes before leaving. We'll just go ahead and hit save. And what this will do is it'll take us out of the design area back out to the menu here on the design tool. We're not in command, but we're in the tool that connects from command. And as you can see here, this also shows a bunch of different templates and things that you've worked on before, just like on the very first screen that we started with. You may see the same here as well. So, here I have what I just worked on and anything that I've worked on before. If I want to go back to where the templates are for everything, I can click this little templates tab here at the top, and it'll bring me back to basically where I had started from. So this was where I found the open house flyer that I had worked on before. From here, if I was going to look for like a social media graphic or something, a social media template that I want to use, then I can actually switch this here at the top. There are also different shapes and sizes for these too. So I can see here, there's social wide, social square, and there's even social stories. So social square options are going to be good for posting on your Facebook timeline or just as a Facebook post, for Instagram as well. These are already the right shape for those. Social wide, these tend to be also good for those too. Usually better to use like as a banner for Facebook and Twitter. Not usually the best for Instagram for these. And then you have social stories, which maybe you guys have seen, the Instagram and Facebook stories. They're in this shape, where they're longer than they are wide. These are really great for that too. If you choose to use one of the social templates, and you go in here and use one of these, you'll find that they work the same way as a flyer. So the whole process of going through this, replacing the text, photos, the logos, and anything like that, same process as it is with creating a flyer. Only difference is that when we go to use this template, when I go, I still have to download it. So I just go to the same download button. Only difference here is it's gonna save this as a JPEG file, which is a picture, which is what Facebook, Instagram, and all that would use. Is, as you guys may know, you can't upload a PDF into Facebook and all these things. It's just not the right, especially if you're gonna use for a post. PDFs are not gonna work for that. So this knows by default, oh, this is a social media graphic. It's gonna just save as a JPEG, which I know that, if I download this, it's gonna work, if I uploaded it into one of those types of posts. That's the way that I recommend, saving something out of here to then re-upload, be able to put it into Facebook and anything like that afterwards. So that's, similar process to, customizing one of these is for that. So let's see here. I'm gonna go back out to the homepage here. If you guys want to upload some pictures or logos, anything like that into this that you want to reuse for later, so just like all the Keller Williams logos that I had shown before, the way you get to there is in this assets tab that's here at the top. The way to get here, again, I have to click the home button to be able to get to these options. But once I'm here and I click on assets, then I have the different options here on the left. So I'm looking for images. If I click there, then you see this is where my headshot comes up and where your guys' would show up as well. If I needed to change it up here and put in a different one or remove an old one that I have in here or anything like that, this is where I would be able to do it. If I wanted to delete one of these, like for example, I have more than one, I can just click on these little dots here in the corner and then be able to delete that, which I'm going to go ahead and do because I don't need a second one of these.
Where did you go to get to the assets?
So I had clicked on home outside of or when I was looking at the template, and then it gave me the menu bar up here, and I clicked on assets. If I'm still in here in the design page.
Oh, it's within the design.
Yeah, if you're in command, you have to get into the design tool, and then this is the only place where you would see it.
It doesn't give it to me.
You don't see assets here at the top?
Mm-mm.
Okay, may have to look at that separately
Okay.
to see why it might not come up. But yeah, usually it just comes up here at the top where I'm able to get into this. And if I'm going to add another picture, the option to upload is here in the corner where I can click on upload. It's going to give me a bunch of options here of like where do I want to upload my picture from. If I just have this if I have it on my computer, I'm just going to click on my device, the first option, and then here it's going to open up the files window, and I go through this and find a picture and then upload it if I have it on here. As an example, let's say that this is the picture that I want to add. I just click on it and then click on upload at the bottom. And then what that does is then it adds another picture here, which is going to then show up later on anytime I'm in a template working on anything like this. That then becomes an option that I can put in. So there's images is usually where your headshot would be. Under the logo section is where the Keller Williams logo is going to be found. Like I mentioned before, you might already have the Antelope Valley logo uploaded in here. and if you don't and need to upload it there, you can go through the same options to put it.
Can we add our name to the logo? Like I saw in some emails, it says Keller William, Untitled Valley, and your name in the bottom.
If you have something like that, a graphic or something already made that has, your name and your information, anything like that, yeah, you can totally add that to here.
Oh, okay, but you cannot make it over here.
No, well, you could, if you go through one of the templates, and then, be able to create it through here.
Okay.
If you have it made somewhere else, because, there's tons of different options out there to, make something like that, then you can upload it to here,
Okay.
if you have it. Which actually, that reminds me, in the templates, so besides all of the, stuff for listings, you name it, for sale, open house, just sold, you do have, more than that. You do have a buyer, you have a buyer category. You do actually have a section for listing presentations as well. And these are like complete multi-page listing presentation templates that you can totally go into here, customize. Again, just like, we customized these templates before, they work the same way.
So you can add also the information from the MLS on that.
Yeah, anything, since these are listing presentations, you can customize them specific to your client or, whoever you're preparing this for. And then be able to, update any of the pictures, remove pages that you don't need to keep. Any of that is customizable through here. And then, to be able to then later on connect the information from that listing to this, or that property to this presentation. Buyer presentations under the buyer category. And actually, since you reminded me, under the business basics section, you do have an area to, even be able to create business cards, some business card templates. Of course, still have to get these printed somewhere. But even besides that, you have a section for an email signature. So this might be something that you could, use to, put your information on, and because it's already something that's here, that you could be able to use it at any time. So tons of things like that. Even things such as like holiday templates for, anything that's going on throughout the year. So we're, for example, we're in July right now, still in July. So if I click through that, a bunch of 4th of July stuff comes up. Again, anything that is going on throughout the year, you're gonna find on here. And it's all just super quick, easy to get to templates that you can totally just turn around and use and throw onto social media. Put these on an email to send it out to your contacts. Really, you name it. You have multiple uses for any of this stuff here. And you have all that available through this tool. Any other questions so far? Cool. So besides any of this stuff out here, there's also a way where you can create, so as part of one of the templates that's in here, or one of the many types of templates, you'll have postcards as well. So, there's a postcards section. Where did it go? There we go, yeah, looking for standard, so this size postcard. You can, again, create these and use them, but you can also use command to be able to mail these out. the way that you do that is, it's actually not done through the design tool, it's outside of this. The way to actually, if you're in here and you want to leave this page and get back to command, sometimes this button here will actually take you out, but because I've been clicking through this, it's not gonna let me. So I'm just gonna type the address to get back into command, which, by the way, agent.kw.com is the command address. So I know I just type that in here and it will bring me back out to just command. And what we're looking for out here is gonna be the campaigns button, which is this one here right in the middle. Campaigns actually holds a number of different things. The class I'll have next week is I'm going to go into Facebook ads or social media ads, things that you can, from this same area here, that you can create and run, pay for and do all that, and then be able to send those out. And what's nice about those, any leads that come through, they'll come back into here automatically. Yeah.
By next week, what day is that coming?
Next Friday.
Next Friday?
Yeah, next Friday, same time. Yeah, 1 o'clock. On that. So that's social media ads for next week. Besides that area, when you're in here, you're gonna find this direct mail section. This tab here. If you click there, this screen here will actually show you any postcards that you've ever created and mailed out through here. I don't have any examples here, but this screen will show you that. And it'll actually show you a breakdown of month to date, how many you've mailed out, how many recipients that those have gone to, any leads that those have potentially captured, and your total number of, or total amount of, that you've spent on this. This is able to give you that breakdown. Before you, or actually, when you go through this whole process, it'll give you the payment information, before they get mailed out. So, to get started here, I'm going to click on Create Campaign here on the corner. And what I'm looking for is the direct mail option. So click on direct mail. And in here, it's going to ask me what's the campaign name. So I'm going to call it, let's say, if it's going to be for the same listing here, I always like to name it off of the property address, again, just so I'm able to keep these, be able to tell them apart if I've done anything here. And then it's going to ask you what the goal of this campaign is. Is it to advertise a listing, and any of these other options here. So, because this is for a new listing, for example, I'm going to do this. I'm going to select advertise listing, and then click on create campaign. And then once more, it's going to ask me what the property address is. So here, I don't see any options. And again, because I usually have to click on this little option here and change it to all listings. If it was your actual listing, it would show on the list. Let's see here. Skylark Lane. And it's going to be this one here. So I'm just going to select it from the list. And then after you've done that, it's going to bring you to the creation page here. So you'll notice that here on the right, you're going to have a preview of the postcard as it's being created, and then all my options for the postcard are going to be here on the left, on this side of the screen on the left. So I've got the listing already connected. And I can just click on the tabs that are here on the screen. If I click on content, it's going to take me through a couple of options. So first thing is it'll show is the template size. So you do have a couple of options here. The 4x6 template, which is like your standard postcard size, is going to be the first option that it starts off with. But I do have the option to create a bigger, a couple of other templates here as well. There's a 6x9 postcard, and then there's even like 6x11. Of course, the larger size that you use, the more the postcard will cost to create. So let's just stick with the standard 4x6. Here you can just confirm the details. So here's the address, the listing price. I do have to select the listing status, and you have a couple of options here. So let's say that this is just listed. Beds and baths is automatically selected here. And then you have the description. The description automatically pulls through from the MLS, so whatever description you had put into there should make its way into this screen. And you can see here that it all came through. You do have a character limit, so the maximum is 350 characters. You can see that when this pulled through, this went way beyond that. So I am going to have to go through this and remove some of the information here to get it to work. So say as an example, I'm just going to cut this down a bit here. I'm just going to remove some of that just to get it to fit. But when it comes to the description of here, you can totally choose to use what is already in the MLS, or you could condense it further. So maybe make it so that it doesn't give out as many details right up front. If you want, especially if you want to have people want to contact you regarding this listing. So maybe again, you don't want to be totally disclose all the details on this little postcard, give somebody the full information. So, just want to keep that in mind when it comes to this. So let's say that's the description. And then I do have to select the first photo here in the, for the template. I can click on still within the same section here. I can either upload my own picture of this property to that section here, or I can choose the tab next to upload image, and then here's the pictures from the MLS, just like before. So you can wait for this to load here, just a sec. And if I want to use the picture of the front of the house, there it is. All I do is I can just click on it once, and then I'll see that it replaces it here in the preview right away. So I can see that there. And then down below, besides that, I'm going to have my headshot come in automatically, as well as my details and other information from my profile, which should come up here too. I have the option here to change any of this if I need to. I just make my changes and then just click on save once you're done. So as we're looking through this, that takes care of this content section. Then I have Market Center. Just to make sure, just double check that the office information is all in here. For some reason, on my account anyway, it doesn't save the state for some reason. So I just have to go through here and put in the state and also the zip code, but it may not be the case for you guys. And this is so that it's able to verify the sending address. So I do have to click verify here. Yep, that's the address. And then it marks this as checked off once it's done. If you want to, here on this side of the screen, it's currently showing the front of the postcard. I can click on this little menu here and change this to the back. And then I can have a preview of what is actually on the back of the card, which is usually the postage information. And I can see here automatically, here's the address, there's a description that I had put in, my information as well as my picture, everything, office address is going to be on the back. I can see that there. The lead capture portion of the postcard, so on the previous screen or right before I started, there was an area there that said leads captured or leads obtained. That comes from this QR code section. It is optional. What this does is if I choose to use it, this allows me to include a QR code based off of a landing page that I may already have created. Landing pages are, it's another tool as part of Command that you can create basically a small little custom website about a listing. And if you have that created, you'd have to create it before getting into this postcard. If you have that already done, then you could have it selected here from your list. And let's say that this was the landing page. What it'll do is it'll put a QR code here in the corner, which someone that receives the postcard, they can scan that with their phone. It'll take them to that page, and that'll work its way in as a lead that was captured. So that's what that refers to. And again, it's optional if you want to use that or not, but that's how that would work. Last thing that's on this screen is the budget section. So this is going to ask me how many postcards that I want to create, the quantity, and how many of these, and then the postage that's automatically included in here for those. So let's say I wanted to do 200 of these, keep it easy. I can just click on save, and then I can move on to the next step. Before moving on, if you guys had actually created a different postcard template, from the previous the design tool, I can upload the design here instead. It's under the content section. It's going to be this upload design button. Here it gives you a couple of sizing information for this. But here I can upload both the front of the card that I created and the back side. And if I were to do that, instead of using the one that it puts together for me, then it would show me the front and the back side of those cards if I were to use that. So then go ahead and move on from here. The next step is to configure the targeting. So I'm going to click on the option here at the top. Configure targeting. Yes, I do want to create this campaign. And then from here, it's going to load up the next section. Let's see here. So once you're at this page, what it'll do is based off of the so it'll default to the listing address as the start, but I can totally, I can change this address here if I wanted to start it at another location. So I'm not limited to just, here's where the listing is. It can only go around these properties or these mailing addresses. I can choose to change this address to anything else if I'd like. But if I were to keep it as is, it'll pull up the map as well as the different, it'll be 200 properties or however many that you had selected to begin with. And it's going to start putting them around the map here as available addresses that this can be mailed to. So I can see that's all of these here. If I wanted to change this up and kind of select different properties, I could use the couple of these options here. I can draw out the map. So let's do that's the second option here, this draw one. And I may have to zoom out of the map just a little bit, but I can do something like this where, I can like draw out a circle over, somewhere else, and it'll automatically, place the homes or the addresses in that section. So I can do something like that as my targeting. Here it said, based off of this circle that I had dragged out, that 200 or actually 300 addresses came up. I can back this down to 200 because that's how many postcards I'm going to be making, and it'll adjust that down. So you don't have to just rely on what it puts out here in front of you. You can change it up a little bit. And as part of the targeting, you have different property types. So you can section this out for single, all properties, or single family. You can adjust any of these other options here for more precise targeting if you need that. But if you're good with the selection here, then you can move on to the last screen, which is going to be a final preview of your postcard, and then the payment information. So once you put this through, these typically get mailed out within 4 to 6 business days. So they're printed and then automatically out to these addresses. That way, this is a fairly quick and easy way to just create postcards right out of command, and then be able to pay for them and have them mailed out to any area and anything like that for different uses.
So you can
Yeah.
print that out? Sorry, can you just repeat that last piece? How can you ship them out?
After I've gone through the targeting, the last step here is is just being able to pay for it. So it already knows that I have based off of the quantity and the postage rate, there's my total, and I just do the rest of the checkout, and it'll take care of that. So there's another company that runs the service.
So we already
Yeah.
have that in command, right? Okay.
It's the feature is already it's already built in and ready to go. It's up to us to determine where it's going to go to, how we create the postcard, and then ultimately how it gets.
So once you pay and everything, they will automatically print it out and send it out for you?
Mhm.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just thinking you have to put each address name and send it out.
Yeah, definitely not. That's definitely a totally different approach to do this. Which, again, you do have that option. Of course, you'd have to, figure out a way to get the postcards printed out, yourself.
Yeah.
Get them here. Get a list of addresses. Make labels for those. Pay for the postage. Or stamps, and then put those
Yeah.
together and mail those out separately.
So all the legal stuff, it's already included there. You don't have to take care of what's, the signs, how to use it, everything is already taken care of that too, right?
Yeah, everything is going to be included on here. It's kind of, you could always, before you actually pay for this, you can do a larger preview right from here.
Mm-hmm.
You can see things like this, zoom in here. That includes just like the general usage agreement, or not usage agreement,
Right.
but like the disclosure. Yeah, that's automatically included on here.
You're not splitting
Yeah. The logo, it shows up really tiny, but it does include it there, the office logo.
So do you have to put your DRE number too? Like, is that required or?
Yes.
So it's, so I can see here, it's not one of the things that's included on the template. But one thing, but what you could do is, and I gotta leave the page to be able to do this. Let's see if it brings me back. Here we go. And by the way, you can always save this as a draft to, you know, if you gotta leave this and then come back to it later. I could do something like this in the description of the postcard. So based off of this this template here, there's no separate section where I can put in the DRE number. I don't think they've added that in yet. But what I can do is I can just type out in the description box here, you know, DRE number, you know, whatever it may be, as an example.
You can always make the postcard and make all the arrangements, right? And
Yeah.
design tool and just upload to here.
Or yeah, if you use your own design and you upload it into here, and you have all of that already in that,
Okay, but
that design.
generally, you can find a spot where to put it in, like, if you want.
Yeah, and then for that I would use the description box, because I know that, let's see here. Let me click through this again real quick.
Did you give you discounts on the price if you go higher in amount? Do you know?
Let's see here.
Promo code. Yeah.
So let's see, cleared out my picture here when I left. So let me just do this real quick. Let me bring this up to, let's see, 300. I'm not sure exactly if there's any price breaks for this. I think it goes mainly off of the postage amount for these, for the higher they could go. So, you know, I think that's what you have to work with. Click through the preview here real quick. Next. Here it is. So then, oh, there's preview once more. So if I were to do something like that and put in like the DRE number or anything in the description box, then it shows up in the preview just before I do the checkout. So that's going to be the one way that you can include that information, or anything else as part of the postcard. And let's see here. And one of the, and then no, I'm just over time here, but one last thing I'll leave you guys with is, this is a newer feature that they put in as part of this postcards, is you can actually schedule the send out of these postcards for a later date. You know, you don't have to, if I go through this right now, you know, I'll go through the checkout and all that, and it'll send it when they get it created and mailed out. But I can do a launch for a later date, schedule a launch date.
That's not bad.
Your mailers are estimated to arrive in the mailbox within, or for the recipients, from the scheduled launch date. So I can plan this out a little bit in advance, based off of that, you know, let's say 4 to 6 days ahead of time. I can use this and then be able to do that for that.
Set it up for the year.
Yeah, exactly. Be able to go through this throughout different times of the year, and you know, schedule these in advance. And I know that they're scheduled, they're paid for, they're going to go out, you know, in those times. So, yeah. Let's see. Kind of gone over time a little bit here, but does any final questions? Anything before we wrap up here?
Just need to exercise.
Just go through,
Just
do
go
it all,
through it and
practice.
redo it and see
Yeah.
if you get stuck or not.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, the nice thing about this is, you know, you can totally work on something, you know, save it for later, delete it if, you know, you're not gonna keep it or use it. You know, there's not really a whole lot that you can, you know, break or mess with on here, so, you know, totally free for you guys to work with.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, thanks guys for coming in.